Morning, everyone. Start in a couple of minutes as usual.
Morning, Roger.
Morning, morning, morning. Okay, that's 1:30. Excuse me. Trust you had a good weekend. Right. Just let the guys in a second. Right, I'm just starting on this one because I think there's a possibility of some upside here. I think it's the upside here. On the daily, just give you a bit more information. It's in the buy zone. You can see it is the Swiss franc, which, as mentioned before, is a strong currency. Japanese yen is still a bit iffy. It's come back a bit, and if I go and zoom out or zoom in a bit, should I say, it's come back and tested a bit of a low round about these levels here, and I think there's a possibility of some upside. If you look at the 4-hour chart, it's moving the 4 times 50, which seems to be okay, and the 1-hour chart similar to 1 times 200, and on the weekly chart we got clearly an uptrend. So I see this as a buy. I was looking at 147, but we got a slightly better price. So if anyone likes this one, we can put the calculator up and see who wants to do it. Anyone like to look at this one? I've got a couple ideas, so I'll start off with that before we go into more details of other stuff. Okay. Anyone like to look at this? If so, I'll put the calculator up. If I don't get any feedback, I'll assume you don't. I'll move on. Anything if you all don't like it, I'm going to cry and sulk. I'll be so peeved. You like it? No comment? Yeah. down here forward. So it's got to stop early points. This guy's in 14625. And 14810. I have to put that up a little bit. It's not too great. Move it up a little bit to there. That should do it. Yeah, that'll do. You always modify your stop. Don't forget to do that, guys, before going to Friday's trade, because the guys who modified stops made a profit. If they didn't, we could have got stopped out. So it is, you know, when you see a reasonable profit, don't get your stop too close. Always remember to modify it, and you won't turn winners into losers that way. Okay, John, that's fantastic. Do you want to go for it finally, or anybody else? Glad you joined, Zeph. Just on this trade now, because I'm going to go into the couple we had on Friday. I think we're both winners on that one. The short turned out quite well, and then it bounced up. Some, myself included, I think got out of a profit by modifying the stop, and then it shot up. So the buyers did okay. So it's one of those occasions where the sellers and the buyers actually both can say they won on that one. So it's pretty good. We'll come to that in a minute anyway. Just discussing this trade, I see some upside here. We've got one, oh, we've got two. That's fine. Put that down. I'll stick it at 147 because that was the original idea and see how it pans out. With a slightly better price. So when I mention that, not to the obviously more experienced guys, to newer guys, get a trade idea that says buy at 147, this particular one. You like the look of it, and the current price is, let's say, 146.80 or 85 or 90 or something. You wouldn't be putting a buy stop or anything like that in. You'd be going in at market because you're getting a better price. So just bear that in mind. The only time you'd say I'll put a buy stop in is if you are trying to buy it and it's trying to break through here. So we want to buy it up here at a higher price. Why we do that is we now know it's broken through resistance to get a better price up there. But down these levels, if you can get in a better price, why would you put a buy stop in? It's vital you understand what that means, because a lot of guys came back because I put out a couple requested for signals and I posted these, and they said, should I do a buy a limit or a buy stop? And point out, no, you're getting a better price going at market. So signals go in that price or better. I say buy at 100 and you like the idea and you agree with me and it's 95, you're getting a better price. You wouldn't put a buy stop in to show that difference. Always question, no problem with that, but just bear that in mind. Okay, well, there you are. There's the risk, reward, and yeah, there we are. Written it down so anyone wants it, I can go back to it. I want to show you the other one. That's some off this moment. Another one was the EURCHF. For a sell on this one. We've had this fun one before, eh? Bounced up and then it came off again. It's right on the 50. It is again on the sell zone. I still think the Euro's got a lot of hassles. I still see the Swiss is very, very stable and strong. I still see some downside there. You might say, well, I want a confirmation break of the 50, or you might want to buy it. I don't know. But I think this one's overcooked, and I think I see some pullback on this one. We've done this before with a modicum of success, and maybe but a modicum and not negative. I can't remember. We've done it a couple of times anyway. But I still see the downside there. Let's have a look at the weekly. See, the weekly is definitely a downtrend. Well, it is above the 10-day or 10-week in this case, which is maybe a little bit of a not so sure. On the 4-hour, it is slightly stronger, but I'm not sure that's going to be going forevermore. 1 hour, slightly stronger. So you might say, I prefer to wait for the break of the 50 before getting too cute. I might be aggressive, or you might think, no, times have changed. The euro is now the strong one, the Swiss is the weak one, and you're going to buy it. I'm chucking it out there, but from my personal opinion, I see downside here. As always, if you want to calculate, I'll put it up. Whether you disagree and go along, I'll put that up. This is my opinion. you have yours, and as demonstrated with Zeph and company, often it's good to have that because then you can see it's two sides of the coin. I'm just putting my idea forward. You can have yours, interact, and that's I'm trying to get away with the majority of people I know who trading are just blindly going for a signal, putting it in without looking at it, not looking at the entries anywhere near, and just holding on, hope to get the TP, and it goes nicely towards TP, comes back, stops them out, and says the trade's no good. I don't be rude, but no, because I don't know what they're doing. You don't buy a course, don't look at it, because I know what you're doing, like anything. And those who tend to trade and soon learn that millions of buyers and sellers with different opinions. Nobody's ever 100% right or 100% wrong on that. Okay, anyone want to do this now, or do you want to wait, or do you want to leave it alone, or do you want to buy it? Any thoughts? I'm happy with that. You got a better price. See what John's done? From there, he's given information, and thank you for that. Now I've got something to work for. I've got something I can comment on. He's in short with a better price, so already he's in a profit. Anyone wants to join it now? You want to leave it alone? Okay, Seth wants to leave it alone, but he's not going long. He wants to leave it alone. Okay. Anybody else want to do this or leave it alone? More just the ones who want to do it. If you leave it alone, then not comment. I'm assuming you're leaving it alone. I'm commenting on that, you know, because just feedback again. It's a short for you. Okay, we'll have a look. Use the same figures I've got written down here. I've got a 3570. What have I got? No, 357, the wrong one there, big bump. 9725. Always watch for typos on signals sent out on WhatsApp. So sometimes a guy, because he's got stuff to do, might tap out a buy meaning a sell, or he might tap out Euro CHF meaning the Euro JPY. I don't know. If it doesn't look right, it's a typo. Let's dive into it like somebody the other day died because I saw the sell on something and got the wrong one. So just bear that in mind. Didn't question the TP, everything's all up to maggots. It would be the wrong one. It happens. Try not to, but things moving quickly. And well, no real excuse, but it happens. Okay, we all do typos. Our voices, our minds go quicker than our fingers, especially you, like me, and tap with a single finger, not like the youngsters who tap wildly at the speed of light with two fingers. Okay, Isabel, that's fine. Warren, anybody else want to do a short? Otherwise, we're going to leave it. Be happy those who want to do it privately, but read it right down and need a bit of a confirmation. That's the same. I've just like for whatever reason, people have the trade idea from the room.
Roger, sorry, is that risk and reward correct? Because it's 1.93. The figures there.
Thank you. Let's see, 1.9727. Sorry, north. I think it went off there. 9725. So I was looking at the chat line on the other screen. Didn't notice. I just assumed it went in right. So give me some jip this thing. Something forgetting. 510. That's a bit hectic, that risk reward. We can put it up to there, maybe put it to here. Yeah, that's a better one. 9574. Is that right? 725, 9574. Okay. Does that blow anybody's head back? Are you going for it, Warren? John's already going for it. Anybody else? Yeah, I get that. I get that. That's fair comment. Fair comment, sir. Anybody else want to do this or wait or whatever? Okay, so I won't put it down because we've only got one person wants to enter. So I'll leave that move along. Come back if you want. Okay, another one's EuroCAD and PCAD. I want to look at those two. As mentioned, now we'll start the GBP CAD. That was a short Friday. Excuse me. And yeah, it did quite well, and then decided to suddenly bounce up. So Zeph was going for a long, I was going for a short, and happy to say we're both correct. Came off beautifully, did a nice profit, modified the stop. Well, I did, and the guys in here listened to it, probably did it. And in the end, stopped us out and didn't make a hell of a lot, must admit, we made some money on it. And then it shut up and hit its bloody stop loss, so those didn't modify. So those modified would have won on the short. The beauty is the guys who won the long side actually came off. It might have stopped the stop was, but then it turned around and shot up again. So it was a bit of a win-win situation. So we'll call that game all on that one, I think. It just shows sometimes that can happen with a jumping around. Sometimes you get some very large position on institutional hedge funds, large, enormously large institutions, especially American, who might suddenly jump in or by covering a very, very large position or going into something, and you often get something a bit of a jump. You wonder why that jump came in. Now, fundamental economic calendar, what's going on here? That can sometimes be the jump. That's why you need to keep your stop when you go in at a reasonable level and start modifying, but not getting it too close. Very important. Yeah, so it's a win-win. Okay, so you got your win on that one, and we got the win on the short. So we have to come out even Steven on that one. It's still above there. Where's the 200 up there? I still think it's overcooked. There's a lot of pressure on this trust. Not so good budget, to put it politely. Came out last week, or whenever it did come out. So I think the pound is still pretty iffy going forward. So you might want to wait for a confirmed break below the 50, or you might want to look at something now. But I don't see the sustained upside, personally speaking. We can look at the longer term chart. Yeah, it seemed to be quite against the highs on the weekly, so the 4 hour. It seems a bit of a range on the 4 hour. What's the 1 hour doing? So I think this one, if you don't want to enter now for a short, I think it's got a possibly coming through, and I'd be pretty hesitant on the high side of these levels. That's what my thinking. So I'm just pointing that out. Don't know what to do anything with it. On that mention we can do, but I think keep a strong eye on it. I think it's got potential of downside on this one. Okay, so what have we done then? The CHF, that's right, the EuroCAD, same story, did pretty well and then jumped up again. So I think anyone would have sell it would have done okay. Anyone would have buy it would have done okay. It's out. One of those unusual occasions. Let's go back on the 4 hour. As you can see, it's doing beautifully down there and it took off. Got in, I can't remember where we did, got in there somewhere. I've got it written down. EuroCAD, somewhere up these sort of levels here. Yeah, we got in around about this is around about these levels on Friday and came down nicely, did okay, modified stop, jumped up, kicked us out with a bit of a profit. I admit it, not huge, but a profit's a profit. And then went shooting up. I think, again, it's going to come off. I think this euro is overcooked against the CAD and the CHF. So I do see downside on those. Okay, I had an idea to go out on this one this morning, around about these levels. So if you took it, you're in. If you're not in and you want to do it, we can have a look at it. I see some downside. If you want more confirmation, no problem at all. That's why we put it out there. It's just opinions. We get them right, we get them wrong. Okay. And my opinion is I see some down. This one, the stop up here, take it down here somewhere. Anyone want to leave it alone? Anyone want to buy it? Anyone want to go with the recommendation to sell? If so, I'll put up the calculator for you guys. While you're doing that, just check the weekly for you. See, top of the area there, 4 hour, as mentioned, and 1 hour bit of consolidation, and it seems to be holding on the 10. So you can leave it alone for now. I think we probably agreed I'm a bit wary of upside. The euro, as you know, is a bit of the doldrums. Canadian had a bit of a jump in the oil price. The Brent jumped up. The reason why the Brent jumped up is because the OPEC held off saying they're going to start increasing production. So it had on opening this morning, it jumped up over $2 from close on Friday. So closed on Friday, 84 something, if I remember rightly, on Brent that is, and then opened up something like nearly 87 or whatever it was when it opened up just after midnight this morning or first thing this morning. Okay, on that news, which happened over the weekend, a couple of people did close it anyway in a profit, just in case somebody could come back, smack them in the weekend on oil, and it turned out it was the correct thing. I wasn't so sure. I thought it could be more downside, but I didn't think OPEC would come out with that actually, but clearly they have done. So they seem to be happy to have it in the sort of the 83 to maybe $90 range. They seem to have it. So when I put up my weekly snippet, which I put out on the weekend, I still see it's trade that range. The top of the range, sell it, bottom of the range, buy it. That's sort of my idea. Okay. So yeah, anyone like the look of this one? Sue just mentioned that, okay. Okay, so anything on this one? Anyone, do you want to leave it? Do you want to do something with it? Seems on the shorter term, sellers come in, so I see a possibility of downside here. Anyone want to do this? If so, got it written down for a couple of guys who are interested, but I'll just tick it off if you want to go in. Anyone want to do it? Nobody? Okay, clearly nobody. All right, I'll move on. So those are the ideas I've got out. I'll check them all later on, see how they do, revamp them, but because I have got them out for some guys who wanted to do them anyway. But if we can always go back if you want. Okay, but you must interact. Silence, I can only guess. If you don't interact, I don't know. I cannot read your minds. And it's problem a lot of traders are too scared to interact. And then that's why they often don't, get stuff done. This is all about the whole thing with this business here, educational package and all this, is get people to be confident to learn how to take control of their financial future. And if you're too scared to do that and you wait for someone to do it for you, that means the other person in control and not you, clearly. We want you to steer and be on captain of your own ship, on the financial ship, basically. Okay, so you must have the confidence to interact, and those who do, hopefully do okay. Those who don't, I don't know, they don't know, and I pass on, and they're not learning. So it's very important. If you don't know, tell me. If I don't know, I'm honest, I'll say I don't know, but if I do, I will say. Okay. Right, okay, Brent, they had that jump. Is it going to be sustained? I don't think so. So those who got took their profit last week on the Brent short, I think it's giving another possibility of another Brent short moment. I'm not sure we're going to see $90 taken out. Might skip up another dollar or so. I don't know. Who knows? Nobody knows that. But I think if it starts going too high, I think they will change their mind and cut a bit of reduction. I'm not sure the West is going to allow is probably the wrong word, but accept maybe $95, $100 prices again without maybe opening up their own pipelines and starting to forget the greens. I mean, greens are all very nice, but if you don't have transport, you've got a problem. I think the Save the Planet suddenly comes second to one's own personal wants, political power, and human beings to be able to afford electricity bills and petrol bills and transport costs and food prices and what knock-on effects it has. So I think there's a possibility now if to go in again with a stop out the way. We can take it back down again to here, which is what, $5, $3 stop, somewhere around about the 90, 91, 50 level. Anyone want to join a short on this one? Okay, so quickly went through them there. You can probably see quite a bit of resistance there, and put a bit of a line of sand there. Seems to be around about this level of bit of resistance. So I haven't, sorry, EuroCAD to Euro JPY this morning. Okay, we'll come to that. Look at Euro JPY there. Euro this morning for a long to 144. Okay, USD doing okay at the moment, but Japanese, I find a bit questionable those two currencies put together. But neither of them are particularly outstandingly strong. We have had a bounce over the last few days last week. I completely get that. It's come up to a little bit of resistance, but not much. A little bit of a tail here, but not much. So we could get a bit more upside. Let's try the weekly. Could do. 4 hour. Come on. There we are. It's a bit of resistance on the 4 hour, if you like it. 1 hour. A little bit there on the 1 hour. A few sellers coming, as you can see. I'm not that confident buy or sell it personally. So if you like the idea, what Zeph's come up with, I'll hand the floor to him and use his figures if you want to do it. From the record, I'm an LIA guy on this one. Anyone want to do buy or sell or whatever? Do anything with the Euro JPY? Any comments? So there were 50 guys out there. Somebody must want to comment on it. Anybody? Yeah, I know. I think it's just because people are too scared to comment. I'll get feedback from some of the presentations, the classes that guys coming to learn how to do CFDs and Forex and platform trading, and only one or two interact. As a result of it, they're too scared to interact. How are they going to take control of doing the derivative markets? Another question. You know, you've got to put the effort in, interact. We're here to help. You can't help yourself. Not sure we can do. If Kenny's scared and he's a senior tier 1 operative from Delta Force, then we should be scared. Hey, you want to buy Petro? Yeah, I think that would be Zeph's idea. I'm going to leave it alone. Either way, I'm not sure I want to buy or sell it. So it's up to you. He's looking at a buy. If you want to do a buy, go with it. Yeah, it's up to you. I'm definitely staying out of it. If you want to do a buy, guys, let me know, please. Otherwise, the lesson will be over, and we've covered so little ground. Got to, you know, it's practical trading. You haven't faff around, and then you're going to miss the trade if it's moving quickly. You've got to be on it. Wait till next week. Discuss with my wife. Think about it. You know, that's you got to be decisive. It wasn't being sales, know what I mean. Hey, I'll discuss with my wife. I mean, you can't make a decision. Your wife can. Okay, she hadn't even seen it, but so she hadn't seen it, and you can't make a decision. You expect her to make a decision. Okay, you want to buy it? Okay, I'll put it up for a buy. What are the figures there? I'm definitely not keen. I wouldn't even sell it, but I could be overcooked. I've a bit of resistance there. I'm extremely not keen, but okay, that's my opinion. Where do you want to put the stop? That can be. Let's just find out. I have to put it down here somewhere. 11440. 141.4. TP up here. I suppose you could try if you want to do that one. 14420 will do. There you are, if you want to do it. If you do, I'll write it down. I'll put it down as not my idea, but I'm quite clear on that. Whoever's idea, I put a name down. It could be George, Bill, Sue, I don't care. But yeah. I like that, Zeph. Yeah, yeah. But I've been in sales a long time ago, to be fair, which used to make me laugh. Yeah, must discuss with the wife. So the wife who hasn't seen it, and remember the person who's promoting the product, theory should be an expert on it. The person for one time clearly is not an expert. So how on earth can they promote it to the wife when they can't even make a decision when the expert promotes it? So again, it's all emotions, no rationality in it. So we used to have a laugh in sales. You say one thing about sales, we're good at repairing marriages. We get the husband to talk to the wife. Anyone who's been in sales will know what I mean. It's amusing. Okay, so anybody want to do this? Do you want to do it, Petra? Do you want to do it, Capello? Anybody? Come on, need an answer? We've got to move on. Just as you're trying to think of an answer, just remember this is a trading room. It's not a training room. I concentrate purely, as you know, on trades. The thing being is, if guys come in and they spend too much time on training, then why should they go and invest in a training course and again for free? Two things: the guys who invested, learnt the stuff, and want to learn how, want to get trade ideas out, are being stuffed around, and the guys who bought it are being stuffed around. So, because the freebies coming in are not paying and getting free. So I can clarify, but I will not do training in here. That's for the classes. This is primarily for us to get our trade ideas and clarification, which can be done. What's that yellow line? That takes a couple of minutes to explain, but it's not long-term training. That's done by the classes for yourself. So, okay, Tucker's taking it, so I'll put it down. Fine, Zeph, got some support there. Let's write this down. Euro JPY. Put it down, Zeph. 14140. For 232. 144.20. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, righty. So we'll see how those go. What else do we have to look at going back? Okay, so that was a Zeph one as well. GBP AUD. Can I knock that off? GBP AUD. That was one of yours. What did you have to read that? It was a buy. It was 1.7150. EU. Was it GBP AUD? GBP AUD. This is about 171.50. That's done very well. Well done, Zeph. He's the guy to follow. Good stuff. 73.70. That hit the TP. That came out on the 30th. What's today? It's the 3rd today, isn't it? So second, first. Yeah, it came out on Friday. So well done, Zeph. One to you. Big tick on it. Congratulations. My partner in crime. Brilliant, Zeph. Thank you. Yeah, but the beauty is, Zeph, you've done it before. You know, you start off the week on a downer and then you end the week on a good one. Or it could be vice versa. Or start off the week great, then you get a couple of not goods later on. It's so crucial to understand this. So I'm so openly trying to discuss it with you guys here and what Zeph's doing, trying to get across to newer guys that there's no God out there who's going to send you a signal that you've got to follow blindly. That is not how it works. This is made up of high risk, hopefully high return, millions of people, literally millions of people trade with different ideas. And that's why I have a stop loss. That's why I have risk management. And if you don't have a stop loss, you don't have risk management, the chance you continue to be lucky are small, put it that way. In fact, if you're that lucky, why come here? Just go and sit and lunch at the casino and just bet on the roulette table and get a fantastic reward. If you're so lucky, you always get the right numbers. But yeah, always equity management is imperative. Don't try and get A to B at the speed of light. You might get lucky one day, and the next day you have a car crash. You have a financial car crash. So equity management. If you get knocked out, that's fine. It happens. Off to the next one. Not, oh my God, I've lost 50% of my capital in that trade. I was so convinced. I moved my stop away because it's got to bounce and didn't. Now I'm in quite frank, let's use the language, shit street. Okay. And then now you can't get out of it because you're too scared. It might jump up and you're not thinking straight and you get a margin call or the count goes or something. No. If you get stopped out, it bounces, well, so be it. At least you had the equity management. And that will happen. You know, it stopped out, it jumps. And they go, oh, next time I'm going to use a stop. That's one of those things. You've got to accept that. In fact, in life, you're going to have failures, you're going to have wins. Even film stars like Tom Cruise must have had a couple of dud films. You can't all be successful, surely. Although with him, I sometimes wonder. Okay, right. So that was a good one. I'm not sure I'll be chasing it now. Wouldn't chase it, but well done on that one, Zeph. Okay, let's have a look at the NAS. The NAS off quite a bit. I remember I've been like a stuck record on this short the rally. Don't buy it. I've been on the long side. And as it turned out, it seemed to be coming to places. We taught those who can afford it. Remember, guys, I can't do the NAS. What's wrong with your system? You can't do the NAS. You haven't got enough money. You don't do the NAS below 5 grand because of the extreme volatility. You don't do 50, 60, 80 pips on the NAS. You do 200 plus, which is $20. It's 350 odd rand or something per micro. So it's too rich for the blood of guys below 5 grand. If you want to do it, yeah, but watch your position sizing, make sure your stops are wide, protect you at 3:30 and nothing else, and the big movements on the American market opening. Well, there we are, getting back to what happened. Short around 11.5, 11.6 area, got there, and came down nicely. Profit was taken, 11,000, those who had it. And I did a weekly snippet, which I put out to the guys, and I think it's put on Instagram, Facebook, or I don't know what they do, that's whatever company does. I sent them and they put a nice little label with it, quick trade, logo with it, and then they send it out. And I said, again, sell the rally if it goes back up again, or a clean confirm break below 11,000, we'll look for another move down. Having said that, I'm a little bit nervous at the moment, actually. It could have a bounce before it goes down again, but I still see below 11,000 gives an opportunity to set it back down again. But I'm personally a bit nervous at the moment. But those who did take it on the short side as recommended will have a big fat smile on their face. I want to look at gold. Again, sell the rally was another thing I put out. I do the gold, oil, and the snippet. Sell the rally on oil. Trade the range in oil, about 83 to 88, somewhere around those levels. And I think it's a sell on that one now. And the gold, sell the rallies. I wouldn't be on the wrong side of it. It's had a bit of a jump, not quite as much of a jump as I wanted. It jumped up a little bit today. I think about what did it do today? I think it got up to the 70 area. Was what today? Not quite. Yes, just about the 70 area. I was hoping we might get a bit more, maybe 73.45. I think 80 was asking a bit. Try to squeeze in a little bit above that to short it down. Unfortunately, I had to go to a Zoom meeting. I had other things to do. Some clients asked some questions this morning, and I turned my attention to that, and it already come off, so I didn't chase it. I personally prefer to chase it a little bit higher up before I get too cute with it here. But if you can get a better price during the course of the day, look for a sell. At this stage, don't be on the long side of it. I'm going to look at my other screens here, and just a second, we've got the DXY holding about 112. Keep an eye as per normal, and as I say, it's not exactly shooting the lights out the yields, but still seem to be holding to a certain extent. So we might still get a better price. The opportunity to maybe short it later on. If we're not, well, keep an eye on it. Okay, so just mention that. Keep an eye on it. Just want to quickly check the other stuff talked about this morning. CHF JPY. It's giving a bit of jip at the moment, but I do see upside. It's giving a bit of jip. I accept that, but hopefully it'll come right. What's the EuroCAD doing? Some guys liked it. That was a short. We'll see if it comes off. It's hovering around this level here. If it holds, it comes off, which is short, clearly. Euro CHF was another one. What's it? 96.50. Not much, but it's trying to. I think what was the other one? Euro. We didn't do the EuroCAD, did we? Did we EuroCAD? That was around about 5-ish mark. EuroCAD. Yeah, that's trying to come off as well. So we're trying to get some stuff going there. It's one of the CHF JPY. I mean, the CHF is very, very strong. Of all of them, I thought this would be a quite a strong one. But anyway, don't give up on it and see how it goes. Yeah, so there it is. Okay. I think that's a lot to go through to update. I think there's another one you looked at was a buy and a Swiss here. I don't know if anyone took it or not. Put it written down here, but not as a trade. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe just forgot to give the details. I think some guys wanted to buy it. So that worked out. Well, today, yeah, if they wanted to buy it, they've done all right. Looks like. I haven't got the details there, so maybe just an idea I got forgotten about. Anyway, I'll go back to Brent now. Anyone want to enter a short on Brent? I'll put the stuff up in case you do. If you don't, obviously tell me and don't do it. That's the whole point. You can't say, well, Roger told me I must do it. No, I did not do that at all. I'm suggesting it. Yeah, I'll do for stop. TP, make it work, make it 83. Can't get a reward, make it slightly lower. Yeah, I'll do. Anyone interested in this? Very much a range trade. Don't see why I should change going forward. Okay, yeah, we'll come back to that in a minute. Nash is interested in Brent. Okay, well, there's the stuff on there. Please let me know if you want to do it, and I'll get this one down. We want to buy the pound against the dollar. You might be right, but I'd be a bit nervous. Okay, we're going to couple. I'll put it down. 88, 89, that's at 91, beg your pardon. And 83. Okay, see how that goes. That's fine if you are. So a lot of guys modified their stock and took profit going into the weekend, and it jumped up. As mentioned earlier on, I was wondering that, because you just joined that repeat, that Saudis decided over the weekend they would increase output. So it jumped on opening this morning a couple of dollars or so per barrel. I think it's again go back to overcooked. So the guys who took profit, which I know a lot of guys did over Friday, have another opportunity they want to sell. If you're in, obviously stay in. Don't enter again, in other words. We'll mute a second. I've just got to make a quick voice message. Okay, right. So we've got the RR up there. So anyone want to do it? I think a couple of guys said to do so. Down here. Okay. Don't forget, guys, please, if you get a trade idea out and you're still in it, please, that just ignore it. It's only for those who aren't in it. I want to mention something about a lot of these guys. You go to apps, you get these signal things coming through. I've looked at Quant over the years, and often you'll see something like, I'm going back to Etienne now for buying a GBP too long. They just look at it and say, well, these guys are saying that. Then you look at their TP and SL. I've often seen SLs and TPs 1-to-1. I've often seen them where the risk is slightly higher than the actual TP. And it's usually very short term, because then once it gets a bit of a profit, even as $1 or something, not dollar, but let's use dollar of Brent, moves it, then they can claim it as a winning trade. It makes a signal because then push you to the premium where you got to actually buy them, if you see what I mean. So just check out those signals first and look at the extent of them, look at the ratio, look at the length of them. I mean, I can say, right, short gold now, stop $5 above, maybe $4 to the TP, and then if it goes in dollar direction, you pretty close the signal. Often people miss it, but they'll claim that's a winning signal and they say we're doing very well indeed. Just bear that in mind. Okay, but yeah, so just bear that in mind. Okay, so there's the Brent for it. There it is. Okay, where were you? GBP USD. You're a braver man than I am, young goodness. Rudyard Kipling said, if you want to buy the pound against the dollar, could get more of a pull back, or a rally, I should say, could well happen. But I don't extend to that rally. I don't see the pound economy out of the doldrums as yet. I still think the dollar is going to be reasonably strong, to come off a bit, but no surprise there. But to buy it up, I think get a bit more upside. You might come around and say you're wrong, but I would be nervous. I'd rather see it. I'm nervous to touch at the moment, but if I had to, I'd rather look at a short. I'm not that keen on the pound, and it is a bit of resistance there. It seems to be holding, even though it's popped up the last week. It popped up quite a bit. I think it's overcooked. I think there's a possibility of some downside on this issue. It's in the short zone as well, as you can see. So here's a nice one which we can discuss. Etienne thinks there's a bit of upside. I think it's a bit of downside potential. Some guys might think leave the thing alone, but this is what we try and learn, where we discuss. This is a trading when we discuss the ideas. And that's like try and push. You've got to be confident to come up with ideas. Don't rely on someone else to do it for you. This is all about you being in control of your own financial. Okay, so, right. Who's pro buy? Who's pro leave alone? Who's pro sell? Let's have a discussion. Let's learn stuff. That's what we do at university. Debate without throwing stones at each other. No culture here. Yeah, if it starts getting up those areas there, then you say, right, and the dollar index is coming off. It's a good possibility. I'd like to see that dollar index take out 112 to the downside, and maybe a bit more movement taking that out before I touch it. Even then, I'd be nervous, but I could look at it more favorably. But this stage of the game, I would think that one likely to hold. Not enough comp to go and jump into it, unless you can give me some moral support on that one. I'm expecting it's going to be probably coming off before it goes shooting up and like that. I'm more negative on the pound and more positive on the bottom line. Anyone else want to join Etienne on the long on this one? Right, if you're very short term, that's different. We tend to do things where you look at TPs at least about 80 pips, 100 pips, something like that. We're not doing it 20, 30 pips sort of thing. Those about 1.15. That's about 300 pips away, Isabel. Well, it might happen. Might happen. Could well happen. And after the big reaction to the budget could start settling down, and people think, well, pounds are undervalued. Maybe some guys will start jumping and pushing the price up. Could well happen. Okay, so not enough people say they want to buy it. Not enough people say they want to sell it. Not most people leave it alone, so we'll leave it alone. Okay, thanks. Good, thanks, John. Okay, we had a couple of ideas out this morning. Some guys might have joined a bit later and missed them. Along on the CHFJPY, giving a bit of jet this morning, jumping around a bit, but I think the Swissies have been pretty strong again. It's a bit weak. On the daily side, it is in the buy zone, as you can see. If you look at the weekly, also pretty strong, as you can see. Upward trend. It's come back a bit on the weekly. It's in the daily again. It's come back to a bit of area around this, not this support area, but a little bit of support there. A little bit, not a major one. 4 hour. Seems to be trying to hold above the 4 hour times 50. 1 hour, whatever good that does, a bit short term. It's a little bit downish on that, but more range trading. A little bit near the longer range. In this one, and Osborne, I may join a bit later if you want to do it. I can put it up for. Oh no, hang on, you'd know about it, wouldn't you? You're on the legal. Yeah, that's fine. You know about it. It's not a problem. If you're in it, I still see the upside is there. Bit disappointing it suddenly jumped down like over an hour ago. Not quite sure that happened. Maybe it's profit short covering, or I don't know. Had a bit of a jump down suddenly. No to the fundamental, but I think the long side's the way to go. So if it's down a bit and you're in, well, it happens, but I think long is the way to go. Okay, right, let's look at the Dow. Again, Isabel, I don't know how much money you got in your account, but if you look at the Dow, be careful in the under about 10 grand. The reason being, it's a contract size. I've told you before, sort of repeat again, if you look at specifications, and it says, it says 10. Right, so contract size on this, which is nearly 30,000, is exactly the same contract size on gold, which is 1,600. There's a fat difference between the two numbers, but the contract size is the same. So clearly 0.01 is a different kettle of fish to 0.01 on gold. So let's do, let's say I'm shorting this one, right? We're going to put the stop. You'd have to put it out the way up here somewhere. Now already we're looking at about 250. I think even that's a bit tight. You look above the 2.9. So you're going to be looking around about the $350 area. Sorry, 350 pip area, which is 35 US dollars. 35 US dollars is just under 600 grand or around about that per micro. So you need about 10 grand in your account to do it. So you've got 2 or 3, 4, even 5 grand. I think you should maybe look at the S&P instead. So I'm going to knock this off. That's the trouble. They join the trading room, have chit chats and play around in the background, and that's why they're not interacting or learning, because they're doing everything else but, interacting and learning. So you can hear by the constant noise in the background. This is sort of like the music on in the background rather than concentrating. That's their choice. Free to do that, but they're not learning doing that. Okay, I'm assuming anyway. All right, so so you're going to short this 31,000 to take it down to maybe, I don't know, maybe 28,000, something like that. I'm not keen either way, I should say. You watch your pleasure. Short the rally. Okay, clearly downside. We're not out of the economic woods worldwide yet, so clearly the downside, okay. Maybe get a better price at 30,000 to sell it, I don't know. Leave it for my opinion at the moment. Okay, S&P 500, again, more it's the same story. Short, yeah, I'm not sure about now, get better price. This is different, it's the same contract size 10. This is 3,500, the other one's nearly 30,000. So this now becomes more affordable. Where are we going to put the stop? If you wanted to short it for argument's sake right now, up out the way here, above the 10-day, even put it up here. And it's only about $16. $16 is far more affordable. What's $16? It's about 300 Rand, or at the current exchange rate, maybe 280, 290 off the top of my head. That now becomes affordable per micro. Okay. Again, it's a bit hectic for guys in the grand or so, but guys in the grand or so, got to understand they're very limited anyway, whatever is happening on that kind of capital. Opening a business with that kind of capital, it's always going to be swimming against the tide. But that being as it may, S&P is too rich for their blood as well. But guys with 3 or 4 grand, they can start looking at S&P for a short if they want. So do we want to do a short these levels? No, I'd rather get a seller rally. I would like to short it. Yes, I would. I'd like to see if we can get somewhere around at this level here. About 3,650, then we can short it. We're going to tighter stop, less risk, and some nice downside there. So I think rather keep an eye on it. Okay, any comments? Oh, US dollar CAD. Before we move on to the CAD, call it the loonie. Okay, fine. Come back to if you want. Somebody want to do some of this. Can't remember what they wanted to do with it. Can't find them now. I think someone mentioned it. Right, US dollar CAD. What can we do with this one? I suppose I wouldn't mind buying around these levels. Will it come back to that, go up from here? I don't know. I'm not keen. If you want to do it, do it. I'm not keen. Anyone want to do this? I'm a leave it alone now, this one. Anyone keen on this one? Somebody else said, I forget who. You've bought it, okay? Right, Yapi's bought it. Anyone want to buy the US dollar CAD? What can you aim at? Previous highs up there's about 70 pips. Don't know where you got in. Obviously, don't know anything about what to unfurnish the figures. But anyone want to buy it from here a bit further up? I'll look at the DXY quickly on my other screen. Start to rise, 112's holding. It's gone up the last few moments. Copy and paste for those who don't have it. Those who don't, obviously ignore. $1,407. Okay, we look at a monthly then. Look, oh, I see. Look at this guy here. Way back in, where is it now? 2015. Round about those levels. Fair enough. Okay, if you're happy with that, I wouldn't be doing it, but who knows? Well, even if it doesn't get there, anybody, if I just stop, you made a couple of bucks, you're not going to cry too loudly. So see if you can. And in your favor, the dollar seems to be holding up 112, so we'll see. I just want to go to the yields for you, copy and paste. Try and make it happen like every time, doesn't take long. While we're chit-chatting, just so that everyone makes sure they've got it. Some guys come in new or they're too scared to ask or whatever, do that. I'm doing the economic calendar as well, which we'll discuss. Okay, now economic calendar, what's happening today is holiday in China, just so you know. Japan came out with some manufacturing information, a little bit lower on one, and the non-manufacturing a little bit higher. Germans already come out at 5 to 10. Expect on the PI, Purchasing Manager Index, came out 48.3, slightly lower. Okay, the pound's coming out up to 10 in 3 minutes' time with the manufacturing as well, PMI, 48.5 expected, we'll know in 3 minutes what that is. And the dollar's coming out with another manufacturing today as well at 4 o'clock. Just so you know, we've all got the economic calendar there. Copy, paste it, save your browser. Obviously, I'm spelling out the obvious, but and then keep it minimized. You need to keep an eye on it. Fundamental happenings like the non-farm coming out on Friday does affect world markets. It's important. And I've filtered it out for you so you don't have to do that. So you just copy and paste it and keep an eye on it and updates automatically, which is great. It's free. Why not use it? There one. Okay. Okay, good stuff. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look at our previous trades. Anything happening there? We'll be CHF that's started incoming right. It's trying to get back up there. Are we on the daily yet? It's trying to get back up there. Hope we get a breakout there. So it's doing its best. Euro can be looked at as a sell. Practically do anything. It's not really going up or down, so it's not much happening there. We looked at a seller GBP CAD. Or was that the other day? I can't remember. What did we do in here? Switch down for looking at it anyway. Anything happening there? What have I got down there? Got clicked the wrong one here. It's 1.54. It's 10. Got the wrong one down here. Must be GBP USD. Got the cat down there like a dickhead. I thought it looked wrong. Well, that's wrong as well. What's 1.0? Just a second, I've got the wrong one written down here. 1.09. Oh, that's complete rubbish. I wrote some rubbish down there. Trying to look at two at the same time. Never mind. Euro JPY. Something else. Oh, there's a buy this one. Euro JPY. Where is it now? A little bit in profit. Well done, Zeph. Euro CAD, Euro CHF. That's the other one. So that's Euro CHF. It's come off a little bit. Looked at round about the little bit right about these levels. Not really right anyway. So hovering at the moment. Nothing bad and no particularly brilliant coming out. Just give it a bit of time. And just a moment or two ago on the Brent, it's come off a little bit, but too early to tell yet. So just a quick update doing. AUD JPY, you look at that with pleasure. Often battles to get going. It's only one deny, but for some reason. The only thing I don't like about this, it just seems to battle to get going, yeah. I still like to be on the long side, so all that's in the neutral area, if I can remember. Yep. Bit of resistance there, but I don't know. I wouldn't like to be selling it, but it could. I don't know. I just find a couple of times we've been trading this. I think we've come right, but it just battles to get going, get decent follow through. But yeah, for a short, if you want to short the neutral zone, I personally prefer to short it around these levels if you get a confirmation. And buy it down here to get a confirmation. This level here, I'm not too sure I'd be keen either way, to be honest. GBP AUD. Well, I think it's going to be a bit of a bounce on the pound, probably below as well, but no harm in looking at it. Zeph had one out there last week, Friday actually. It did very well indeed. It was a buy, hit the TP. You didn't have to modify it. Modify great, but it hit the TP, so that's a pleasure. I think we'd all agree chasing here would make me a little bit on the nervous side, to say the least. I think probably, but I think the pound's overcooked. I think there's a possibility of a pullback on this one. I think we pull back to moving average with a stop above here. I see the possibility of some downside here with a stop up here, which is only what, about Only a quarter. Doesn't look far, does it? It's a heck of a long way. Sure, thought we were about 40, 50 pips. It's going to be over 100 pips stop. It's going to be a massive downside possibility then, eh? There's a good chance of maybe coming to here. Get here, it's 270. But to even get to here as a TP, some of that. I think it's possibly there might be some downside. Let's do the weekly first. Let's do the 4 hour. Not much confirmation, a bit indecision there. Bit of indecision on that one. Indecision between 9 and 10. And a few sellers coming in on the 10 o'clock. This is an hour one, remember? What's the 15-minute? A lot of indecision on that. To be honest, I think it's indecision aside, I think there might be a possible pullback on this one. Maybe leave it alone, but maybe you got a point there, leave it alone for now. But I think it's a possibility might get a pullback on this one. I'm going to write down the possibility. I think you don't want to miss that boat. So possibility on that one. Put that down, keep an eye on it, okay? I think we've got a possibility there. I think that's overcooked. I just don't think the pound is, the UK is out of the economic woes as yet. Anyway, we shall see. Unless she does an about turn and fires the Chancellor. Okay, now, in the meantime, as you think of any stuff you want to chat to me about, you've all got the calculator to take it, you've all got your charts saved, set up, don't forget, go there, go to your templates and save it. So if you have any problems, got it saved here. But if you do have a problem, got all the major important fundamentals like the DXY and economic. Yeah, you all know to go and look at specifications. If you come here and you don't know that, then you must be chit-chatting elsewhere because you know how to get the margin, etc. The information might go into specifications. And yeah, should all be set up on the basics there. You should all have your 15200 on there for all what you call it, charts, whether it be for 4 hour or weekly or time zones, in other words, and it works on all instruments. So we'll have 50 and the 200 on all of them, simple moving average. And save it. Okay, I think that's all been covered. If you're not sure, too quick, just run it by it again. I do it every day. I sometimes waffle a bit quickly, but it doesn't matter. Interrupt, tell me, and I shall help. We have to try and assist. Okay. Let's look at gold in the meantime. Trying to get a better price, so keep an eye on it. If we can get another few dollars higher, around these sort of levels here. Around about these levels here, we can again look for a short. So keep an eye on that. Okay. DXY is back at 112, but it seems to be hovering a bit. So it might be a bit of a quiet Monday going forward. Don't forget Friday, $2 non-farms. Don't be scared, to be aware. We'll mind you close to the day. So there'll be a few things coming out during the week before that. Don't forget. ADPs as well as the jobless claims and things like that. Okay, you have your economic calendar, keep an eye on it. Do not make the excuse having been to the trading room, you buy or sell here $1, 10 minutes or half an hour before the non-farms, and it does well and think you're a champion, you got lucky, it does badly, you should have done it. Just be careful. But don't stop trading. Just basically just remember it's there. You know, a car's dangerous, doesn't mean say don't drive. You're aware of it, so you make correct assumptions. Okay, right. So anything there other than that you want me to check through, guys? S&P we mentioned. I want to sell it, but a little bit higher up. I want to set it around about these levels. I'm going to put a line there, so keep an eye on it as a reminder. Right about those levels, 3,650, something like that. I personally wouldn't. Can't see it, Chef, okay, Ken. I personally wouldn't go in right now on the S&P. No, I personally wouldn't. I'd wait for a better price. I know you risk missing it. It comes off. You're not on board. Sorry, but that's my opinion. If you want to risk it and you want to go on, do your due diligence, put the calculator up, make sure you got a decent stop out the way, and take the TP to wherever you want. But personally speaking, I would wait for a better price. Okay. CAD CHF, remember, they're both pretty strong. I'd give the CHF the slightly stronger of the two. They're both pretty strong. Don't forget, before you look at it, you must bear that in mind. They're both pretty strong currencies. Okay, so CAD at the moment's on a bit of a climb. Do I think that's going to be sustained? Well, look how weak it's been over the period going down. It's clearly in the sell zone. For what it's worth, that's crossed there. I'm not often a big follower of that, but it has got a bit of a golden cross. The shorts and the 10-day is a golden cross. It seems to be holding. So it could actually be up to top of the range there to maybe short the rally. If you feel the oil price is going to come off, which we've got a Brent short on at the moment, yeah, I think the Swiss is stronger than two of them. It could be a possibility of a short. I just think there's weaker currencies to sell against the Swiss than the Canadian. But having said that, could well be a short here. I'm not sure I'd be buying it, and I haven't got a confirmation of short. There's no sellers coming as yet, so buyers at the moment. But I'm feeling this sort of area here, I think we might attract some sellers, and I think it's going to attract some profit taking. Guys would have taken short-term bounce and start closing, which means they're selling the close, which means increasing maybe a bit of downside. I think 72 is a good chance of holding. We could get some downside here. You want to long it? Could well be. If you close above this area here, take it further up. I think there's a good possibility of it actually is going to hold, maybe come off there. I'm not personally going to touch it. I'm not going to go here. I think it's better fish to fry, so I'm going to leave it. But I'm hinting for this for record. I'm not going to sit on the fence in this one. I'm seeing 72 as holding, and I probably expect a bit of a pullback. That's personally my opinion. I'm with you on that, Ken. Let's put it down then, just to keep an eye on them. CAD CHF, just for a bit of fun. I like these sort of different opinions. Helps. Buy, sell. Me, Zeph. It's putting about the Zeph is a buy. I'm going to sell. Could have a bit of fun going in there. The whole idea about Zeph is not trying who wins brownie points, it's to get others to learn. Clearly, you've done this before. I'm happy for you, but now you're putting yourself out there for the others, what we're trying to do here as well, to get them to join in and get those opinions like Ken's doing there. Ashley's not in today because she's usually very helpful in that area as well. Well, don't much show many wicks. Let's see one or two. You want to see some evidence of sellers coming in. I'm very likely to buy or sell when you see the momentum going in that direction. It's all green. Buying it and selling it when it's all green to the upside, not a good idea, vice versa. But it's actually say looking for maybe for breaks through your buy. It's not in now. I'm not in either. I'm just putting down for some ideas. I think a potential downside in this one, and some people say potential upside, as in Zeffirino. So take it from there. Back to daily before I forget. Okay, you can go to the 15-minute, guys. Do you see these sellers coming in? Not really certain. I think I'd purchase hang 5 on that front. Okay. About to get going. Not sure when you get 16 cents to sell it. Yeah, so I'm currently going to jump the gun and go in now, especially the DXY is just nipped its little head below the 112 level. So I think not get too cute either way. We can get a better price to it. Pound seems to be moving slightly up for those guys who wanted to do that one. Or was it? I forgot. Did you guys want to do it? I can't remember. I'm going to written down here for whatever reason. Seem to be trying to move up a bit here. Okay, that's just about me covered what I'm looking at this morning. When I got up this morning, I looked at a few ideas there, and that's more or less covered me and what I'm looking at. And anyone else got anything new they'd like to look at? We've had a look at a couple. I think maybe wait on that one. You, Christine, do you see any at all? Isabel? Jenny Osborne, Nyasha, anything there? Okay, anything else, guys? Any opinions? I can't see my screen. Hang on a minute. Are you telling me the screen nobody's been seeing the last hour? Do you mean to say I don't believe this? You're telling me nobody's seeing the screen? I was going to say, if you let me chat away on the screen and nobody's saying anything, I give up. I don't think that's likely, though. I mean, Zeph would have said something, surely, goodness. Well, I'm going to say, to sit there and watch me waffle on without looking at the screen, without saying anything, 50 people not saying anything, I don't know. I don't want to say. I thought that must. Okay, you see it now. God, I'm panicking there. Don't want to be looking at me. You can see me if you want, but it's not something I would recommend. I'll look at the chart. Prettier. Okay, thanks, guys. Oh, don't be worried then. CPIs next week. Well, what's CPI? South African, Japanese, American? I only looked at what's coming up this week. I'm not sure about what's next week. USD, is that right? That could well be. I haven't checked next week. I'm just looking at this week at the moment. What do I think? Well, I've no idea. Nobody does till it comes out. I could think that you might base some sort of trade analysis strategy on that, because I think it is one way or the other. Nobody, no idea, not a fucking clue. Till it comes out, then see the reaction. All I know, if it's high, then you should see a strengthened dollar, because there will be more pressure to continue the increased rates. So it'll be watched. They're doing their best. They're quite open about it. Nothing hidden, nothing completely transparent. They want to bring that inflation rate down. Even there's going to be some suffering in the meantime with higher borrowing costs, which means higher costs overall. They want to bring that inflation down. We all know the problem, it won't happen to America, can't say it won't, it's unlikely, of rampant inflation, what it did to the Weimar Republic, what it just a big cause was the Second World War, and certainly what it did to Zimbabwe and those sort of areas. Rampant inflation is not funny. So in Turkey as well, there about 25 years ago, something like that. And yeah, so no, it's now, but it was about 1 million Turkish pounds to the pound. So you used to go out in your pocket about 20, 30 million Turkish pounds in your back pocket. And they always used to write the prices up on the menus on the blackboard, so they could wipe out each day the price and put a new one in. Could be a possible short, you reckon? Well, actually, dead against that, to be honest. It's nipped below on the 112 on the dollar. So there's a little bit of dollar weakness coming. Well, that's going to be sustained on another story. Dollar's a bit overcaught. The Swissy is pretty strong. I'm not saying that's such a crazy idea, actually. Just a second, guy, just start that phone in. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to jump in on it, but I certainly think it's a crazy idea, put it that way. It's a bit of strength, a bit of a bit of resistance here. What's the 4-hour doing? Seem to be, seem to be holding that level. I'll give you a G on that one. Look at the 1 hour, 15 minutes. Yeah, could be a short-term move down. Let's try 1 hour. Maybe you can get something in this line here. Sorry, Julie. Maybe get something like that. That's about 20 pips. That's something out. Yeah, you might get about a 35 pip move if you want to do short term there. If you want to do it longer term, where would you put your stop? Maybe there, maybe a little bit tighter, maybe the 4-hour. Down here somewhere, you can certainly get something out of it. Maybe use this one as your stop. Lucky thing, excuse me. Yeah, stop up here somewhere. If you want to do slightly longer term and take it down there somewhere. I'm not so keen, to be honest. I think you're right, to be honest, Nasha. I think there's a bit of a chance. It could get a bit of a pullback here. I think it could good strong chance of that. But to the extent of I'm not sure. Certainly to me, it's a bit of a shorter term aggressive trade for do that. I think I'm going to give Percy a bit of a miss. But if you want to do a short term aggressive trade, then a slightly smaller position risk, I think there might be a chance of a pullback here. Remember, they're both the two strongest currencies we've got at the moment, out of the majors and the crosses, don't forget. Okay, that's my comment anyway. Right, anybody else want to see what Nash is coming from? A bit of a pullback? Want to do an aggressive short on this one? For the record, I think I should give a bit of a miss. But that being said, anyone want to be super aggressive and do a short on this one? Or indeed even buy it? Any feedback, guys? Leave it alone. That's my opinion, yeah. Morning. At least another hour or so. I think so, yeah. Well, if you haven't got any more ideas, I have. I've got stuff to do as well. I've got great. GBP, JPY. Again, I'm a bit iffy on these two currencies. I'm buying either of them, actually, to be honest. But clearly, you'd have done very well doing just that. If you had, it's done a hell of a move up. In fact, an astronomical move up. Look at that for recovery. I think it's reaching overcooked status. I'm not sure how long it's going to stay in there. But yeah, but the chart figures, you're right. I'm scared of buying either at this stage. But anyway, from that point of view, it hasn't quite broken cleanly through, but it's certainly nudged into the buy zone. Let's look at the 4 hour. Yep, on the 4 hour, it came back and tested. For a shorter term, it came back and tested, broke through, tested it, bounced up on the long on the 4 hour. So that's looking pretty good on that side. Let's try a shorter term one. Trouble is, these wicks here on the shorter term, they're not really getting going. That's my worry. From a short hour perspective, instead of a daily, it's looking positive for a long. I hear you, big time, Farndy. Again, personally, I'm not that confident. I don't like those wicks coming in as yet. I think it's a bit overcooked. And buying either of those two makes me a little bit on the nervous side. So just for me personally, I won't be going for it for those reasons. But I haven't gone for a couple of trades. Well, you guys have done and done bloody well out of them. I didn't go for the the ZEF trade, the GB. Was it something like what was that? Where the hell was it now? Something to do with the AUD. That's right, GBP AUD, and that came out on Friday. And I didn't go for it. I was a bit cautious on it, and it did by the pound. That is, I was too nervous to do that, and it hit the TP. Never mind, did well. A lot of trades do well, don't get the TP and stopped out in the profit. This actually reached the TP within a day, like a day trade. That's speedy. That's ideal when you get a quick result. So yeah, maybe need a bit of moral support from Zeph. Are you still here? You're still there, Zeph? One of you left. You might have left. You're still there. Can you give find any moral support? Yeah, I saw that. I just checked my list there. Do you want to find any moral support on that one? I'm nervous to buy them, like I mentioned, but I don't want to keep myself ad nauseum. Anybody, doesn't have to just be Zeph, there's people out there. Anyone to give some support for a long on this one? Ken likes it. There you are. Okay, Zeph, good for you. That's what you mean, yeah. Got to stare at it. Do a bit of analysing. Okay, wait for Zeph on that. Ken's supporting you. If Zeph supports you, we'll get this thing down. I'll put the calculator out in the meantime in case he says yes. You got 166. Okay, that's quite a long one. So we'll have quite a wide stop then down here, so probably. Doesn't look right. That might squeeze it. Well, if you think so, that's fine. I'm not even sure on that. So, I tell you right now, my friend, you'd be right there. Petra, if the oil drops below 82 bucks, goes into the 70s, 80s, into the 70s, then you'll see the candle will be weekly, and we'll have a total review on the Japanese yen. And then I would 100% agree. At this stage, I'm just going to hang 5 on that yen thing. All right, just wait for him. He's doing the analysing. Just wait for a couple of moments there. See if it's because Ken likes it. He's getting some support on that one. Fine. Okay, so sort of giving his opinion there. It's a nice one, but it's not really saying you'd advise going in now. Then. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll leave that then, guys. We'll revisit that later on. If you want to take your own back, it's entirely up to you. And put down revisit later on today. And we'll take a lower TP here. Maybe down here somewhere. Then you have to obviously have a tighter stop. Something like that. Would you look at that more? Would that make you happy there, Zeph? And Fanny and whoever? Sweating like that, start bursting. Give me a moment. Yeah, it's a good point. GP news came a bit not so lekker. Not much difference. 48.4 compared to 48.5. Not much difference. CAD CHF. So leave this for now, okay? Revisit later on. CAD CHF. what do you want to do with this? Long to, okay, yeah, long to there. Let's see, what's the problem here? That's 7, what do you got down there? 72.95. Right up here somewhere. Okay, I think you're asking a lot there, my friend. I think you have some noise there. It's a downtrend, the sell zone. I still think the Swiss is slightly better than the Canadian. If we come to Brent comes off, as we hope it does, if we've got a short in there, and most people have, that may a little bit negative on the CAD. That is only 18 pips. So I think you have a lot of noise and problems getting to that resistance. And that's literally just around the corner. I'm sorry, Nash, I wouldn't be too keen on buying the CAD against the Swissy right now. Okay. All right. Great to have you as always. Hope to catch you later. Again, I'm doing 4 o'clock. Remember to meet tomorrow. And then Ash taking over on Wednesday. And we'll take it from there. Okay. Great. Have a good one. Cheers, mate. Hi there, Philip. Good man.